will be the next mayor of Mumbai and from which party, from Shiv Sena or from the BJP. Both the parties, they have time to submit the nominations for the mayor's post till 4th of March this year, and between 5th and 8th there will be only negotiations and discussions between both the parties, that there could be a high possibility that BJP could extend support to Shiv Sena from outside just during mayor's election, or they could also get into alliance.
The BJP have categorically stated that they are not going to form any sort of association or alliance with the party of Congress, NCP or MNS. And while the Shiv Sena, although giving a few indications in the past, but till now haven't announced anything yet on the alliance part with any other party.
There will be a meeting which will take place at Tilak Bhavan, which is Congress headquarters here in Dadar in Mumbai, and only then will the party come out with an official statement as to what will be the strategy that they will adopt for this election.
We are equidistant from everybody. We have a detailed meeting on the 3rd. Nobody will say anything unless it's discussed.
I think that the mayor will be that of the BJP, because this vote that the Mumbaikar has given anti-Congress, anti-NCP and anti-MNS.
Well, that's where we stand right now. Exactly where we stood a week ago after the elections, when we knew the results as they were announced after the elections. And since then, none of the parties have blinked. They're all still playing a game of who blinks first. And in the meantime, there is the suspense around who will be the mayor of Mumbai and how they're going to get to work. And we're really, really impatient for those people who campaigned and wrote out those fancy manifestos to simply start right now working as soon as possible. Joining me on the show this evening to figure out what happens next, who has Mumbai's reins in their hands, Avdhut Wagh, spokesperson of the BJP, Susieben Shah, spokesperson of the Congress party in Mumbai, Clyde Crasto of the NCP, Shailesh Gandhi, former CIC and RTI activist, and more importantly, the chairperson of the Technical Advisory Committee within the BMC. So he knows what goes on in the BMC and how the work gets done. Sudhir Suryavanshi is a political analyst and a very senior journalist who tracks politics, and we're very glad to have him in the studio. And of course, the very charming Indrani Malkani, the managing trustee at V Citizens Action Network, also in the studio this evening. I want to welcome all of our guests. Avdhut Wagh, I understand, of course, the BJP is currently running the country, and at this point there's a massive campaign on in UP. So Mumbai doesn't have, as much mind space. But what is the BJP stand right now as far as the BMC is concerned? Is your ally in the state and the centre going to continue to be your ally in the BMC?
No, one thing is definite, that Mumbai is very important, not only for BJP, but for the whole India. So we give utmost importance to Mumbai, what we give it to Maharashtra and at center. But to be or not to be, mayorship is not our aim or destination. Giving a transparent and good governance to Mumbaikar is our aim. And we are heading towards that.
No, but I also understand, Mr. Wagh, that our reporter has just let us know that the BJP currently is trying to move the date of the appointment of the mayor and the elections to the 8th of March from where it is right now. Is that true?
Because 8th of March is the last date of this 5 years Mumbai Mahanagar Palika tenure. And it is getting completed on 8th. Now, theoretically, you can take election on 8th evening so that the mayor will be effective from 9th. Or even you can take it on 9th. It is only a legal matter or a convenient matter. It is an administrative process.
That UP is
and nothing to do, and
round of vote is happening on
and nothing to do with BJP. Basically, it is the election commission which decides, and this thing.
So BJP has made no such...
no, sir. No, BJP has nothing to do with that. In fact, BJP cannot declare elections. It is not a political...
I didn't say declare. I said put in a request to get the
we cannot even put a request like this. You cannot.
Sudhir Suryavanshi, do you see the possibility of that request coming in? And this is what we're hearing from sources, that the BJP would like to have the mayoral election date changed to the 8th of March because that's the last day of voting in the UP elections.
I don't think so, because it is a prerogative and jurisdiction of the election commission. BJP as a party and the government has nothing to do, because the election commission has to decide the date. as Mr. Wagh has said, the expiry is on 8, so it will be better to to form the new government or new.
Do you believe that the Sena and the BJP are going to be allies again, or do you believe that this sort of tussle that we've seen them hold off for the last 1 week?
Deadlock is continued from the couple of days. Everybody both are trying to get majority and to form their next mayorship in the BMC. BJP is trying their level base, Sena is trying their level base. If you see the number, if you see the math, in the democracy, math and number are more important than the emotional and other issues who are trying. Right now, the Sena has got the higher number than the BJP. Yes. So more chances of the Sena is of getting their mayorship in the BMC as well as the other committees. So in front of
what is at stake here, and I want you to help our audience understand what is at stake for various political parties and why this is so important, because it might seem like just a city local election, but it's not. Yeah. There is a lot at stake, especially given the fact that there are several other states voting as well.
See, Mumbai is a completely different city than the other cities in across the India. The BMC budget is almost 38,000 crore, which is more than 8 small state budgets. So it is very important. And Mumbai is a capital city of the India. So to rule the Mumbai is everybody's dream, including the BMC and other parties also. And the Sena has been ruling from last 20 years. BJP has been playing as the second fiddle role with the Sena. So now, they've split before the elections. Right. Now the BJP has got good number compared to their last.
But technically, in the state, they haven't really split. They're still allies in the state government. So
they are waiting for they are waiting for the. Things never move in a day or in a second. It moves in a time to time. Now they are waiting for the UP election results also. What UP throws the number, on the basis of that, other different political equation will emerge across the state politics also.
Everybody will feel differently about their alliances after UP. Susieben Shah, is it true that the Congress party demanded that the Sena pull out of the state government if it wants any sort of help during the mayoral election?
I think they ran a very bitter campaign. I mean, getting to.
No, but is it true or is it not?
No, at the moment the mandate is for us to sit in the opposition. Let Shiv Sena make overtures. We have no intention of going with the BJP. Let if at all anyone wants the support, they must reach out to us, make overtures. We will.
Has anybody reached out to the Congress?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I will tell you this: as far as the BJP is concerned, they have this uncanny knack. They are a national party, and Shiv Sena is a regional party. They are trying their best to finish Shiv Sena, and that is why Shiv Sena is rising. They feel that once we take over Mumbai, they'll be able to throttle Shiv Sena, and that is the reason. It's a fight of one-upmanship. It is a fight for the survival as far as Shiv Sena is concerned, and BJP wants to be the big brother and finish Shiv Sena.
But if we consider how the BJP is done across the state, Ms. Shah, wouldn't you say BJP has now become the big brother in Maharashtra?
Yeah, it is a strategy. If you see the strategy, they've taken people. They had no rural base in the cooperative sector. They've taken people over. Whether it be Mumbai, they've taken over the North Indians in the rural areas. They've taken people from Congress, from NCP. So not only they took people, but the cadre as well. So they have money matters. They have the money power and the muscle power, and they've used it to the maximum benefit.
But then that's politics, isn't it?
Yes. No, well, I'm not running away from it.
No, Indrani?
It has paid. It has paid.
No, it is true. But then every political party will want to increase their tally, would want to make sure that they are the strong
what cost? You see.
No, but are you suggesting that any of the things that were done were in any way above the rules or below?
The kind of allegations the MPs, Mr. Kirit Somaiya, made against Shiv Sena. Now, should they decide to marry again, are they really going to talk about transparency and going to start an investigation? Let them do that. You see, the issue is, it was a well thought about strategy. BJP, Shiv Sena parted ways to fight the incumbency. They've succeeded in that. Now the allegation, they ran a bitter campaign. I mean, whole no bars campaign. In fact,
right. Okay.
So therefore, if they come together, they are answerable to the citizens. Are they therefore going to prove the allegation made against the Shiv Sena right to the head of the Shiv Sena, the Thakur Parivar?
Okay, yeah, all right. So let me just bring in Clyde as well, and then I want to bring in the non-political voices to analyze what is being said. Clyde, go ahead.
Faye, I've been listening to everyone talk, and I heard Mr. Wagh also right in the beginning. What I find very strange is the tone and tenor of all BJP spokespersons across all channels that I've been debating on. From a lot of bravado to a lot of aggression in the before the elections, just around the result time, to now when they are actually talking about Shiv Sena. But it's very symbolic, they keep saying we fought against kind of corruption and we are going to give a transparent government, all that kind of talk they're doing. But at the same time they're saying the people have voted for a corruption-free BMC. But the fact of the matter is the BJP has not got a clear mandate. At the end of the day, it is still a fractured mandate. So the BJP has not got a clear majority. So if they're going to talk about corruption and if they're going to talk about transparency, they need to talk right now too. They need to walk the talk. And they've suddenly become very, lucid and very kind of, they're talking about the Shiv Sena, but not as aggressively, not as strongly as what they did, before the election or even before the results time. So the thing here is there an overture somewhere? Is there a quiet way of sneaking in? That okay, we are still together. We were brothers.
So let's understand what happens.
Someone was the older brother. Someone was the younger brother. So
let's understand what happens. Indrani Malkani, what happens if the BJP and the Shiv Sena, who are now being referred to as angry siblings who are squabbling, don't see eye to eye? Will the BMC not function? Can we continue to have a government, or can we continue to have a functioning BMC? Will the city continue to work?
Well, there are a couple of things, observations and comments that I would like to share. One is that, the word fractured is being used quite frequently now with the BJP and the Shiv Sena, the way the tally has gone. But if you don't use the word fractured, it's an interesting observation that the citizens have actually voted more or less equal for both the partners. Or erstwhile partners in the civic body, but certainly partners in the state and the centre. So this throws up an interesting angle. So let us wait and see what they do. Now, as far as the BMC functioning, look, if there is a squabble between the political dispensations post the new session beginning 9th, then the administration will have a tough time. Because for every single thing, the policies will have policy paralysis because it will ultimately have to pass in the House, in the BMC. And when it goes there, if there is egos take over and there is a fight on a political side, then there will be an effect. And that's no good for anybody. So here, it is not a question of the state.
Can I just put a little word to add to what Mrs. Malkani is saying?
Yes, go ahead, Clyde.
No, what I'm trying to tell you here is, see, if the BJP was so concerned about governance, if they were so concerned about the well-being of Mumbaikars, they would have raised their voice about corruption while they were with the Shiv Sena in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
right? During the election campaign, they kept saying that there is corruption.
Before it dawned on them, a month before.
But they never spoke about it. So the fact of the matter is, if you are concerned about Mumbaikars, you should have spoken about it in all those 20 years or stepped out of the government that
just before a month.
We are not.
I wasn't talking about. That's not what Indrani Malkani. In fact, Indrani, I have a different question for you. Fair enough, Clyde.
Yes.
Indrani, I have a different question for you. Would you think that these two parties of the BJP and the Shiv Sena holding out and squabbling like siblings, because everybody knows they're siblings, people are going to now begin to view it as some sort of political selfishness instead of just getting to work?
But I think
you had your campaign, you voted, the election is done, now please just put it all behind you and start working, because that's what the city of Mumbai wants.
See, ultimately the city will not stop. Time doesn't stop for anybody. And certainly once the House term is over, the BMC's term is over on the 8th, then the new House has to take charge. I mean, it won't happen any other way. Now, how the charge is going to take place is the question. It is not something any one of us can say. But one thing is certain, that if there is pulls and tugs happening in the functioning, in the elected side, the executive will have a tough time and the deliverables to the citizens will be up in the air.
So simply just to crystallize what you're saying, and I want our audience to really understand this, that if these parties don't find a way to work together, then we are going to suffer as a city, and that is not, in my opinion, acceptable in any way. Shailesh Gandhi, you and the word transparency has been bandied about and overused so desperately during this election. And you're possibly the only one who really knows what's going on, because you're the chairperson of that technical advisory committee that's looking into how things are done and how transparent things really are in the BMC. I'm very upset that we haven't gotten past this entire election mode and we haven't gotten to work. But in your opinion, do you believe the fact that that the politicians are not working, is it going to affect the city?
I think this is shadow boxing that's going on right now. As far as I can see, 99% will have a Shiv Sena mayor. And BJP will align with Shiv Sena. The stakes are too high because...
So the BJP keeps walking around, Mr. Gandhi, and says that BJP ka mayor...
That's why I said there's shadow boxing.
Right.
It's shadow boxing. And the Congress and NCP, even if they put up their own candidate, they will get nowhere.
No, we don't.
It's unlikely that they would support a BJP candidate. So either they'll sit out.
Or they'll...
In either of these calculations, the Shiv Sena with its largest number of people will have the mayor's position and will have the leading light. As far as I can see, this is negotiation, tough negotiation between the BJP and the Shiv Sena for a variety of things.
Right.
I wish.
So you're saying that basically the Congress might abstain from the vote and allow the Shiv Sena to
Irrespective of what they do.
Okay.
Even if they put up their own candidate, they can't do anything. It's absolutely unlikely that they would support BJP. Therefore, the Shiv Sena is assured of being able to put its candidate and get him to win. Whether Congress supports that candidate or not, either way, the figures are for Shiv Sena.
So what do you think this sort of shadow boxing and this sort of sibling rivalry is gaining right now? What are they hoping to achieve?
Negotiations. It's unfortunate, but I think most of us believe they are negotiating for positions on improvements committee and other things. Also negotiating for what each one will be able to make out of it. And that, I think, is a real negotiation which will never come out in the open.
So explain this to my audience, Mr. Shailesh Gandhi. If they are negotiating, in your opinion is...
Shailesh bhai, can I add one more term in what you're saying?
1 second, Clyde, 1 second. So you're saying that there are negotiations right now for taking positions which will allow people to make more money, Mr. Gandhi. Is that what you're saying?
Unfortunately, I think that appears to be true, because even now, I have not heard these people saying this is what we differ on. What they are differing on is how much cuts they will get. And Clyde talked of saying, why didn't the BJP talk of corruption? To be honest, as a citizen of Mumbai, I have been dismayed of the fact that even the Congress and NCP or any of the other parties did not make corruption a major issue in the last 5 years. If they had, it could have been restrained, but I don't think any one of them really has their hands clean.
Well, I actually, Susieben Shah, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, but I first want Avdhut Wagh to respond to what Mr. Shailesh Gandhi has said, that the opportunity that's being used right now, the time that's being used right now is to negotiate plum positions inside the BMC in order to be able to make the most money. Avdhut Wagh, what's your response?
As I said in the starting of the debate, that we are in the power at center, we are in power at state. And UD department is under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister. Now, when you talk about the macro politics of center and state, I don't think that BJP is negotiating for power in Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai.
So then what's the delay?
Yeah, I'm telling you. See, when we have started negotiating with Shiv Sena as far as seat sharing is concerned, we said that we are leading in 115 corporation wards. So that was the first proposal we have given. But we said that we are ready to accept everything except the fact that you should agree on Paradarshakta, that means the transparency. And there they failed. What we are talking about, let it be Shiv Sena mayor. Let it be Shiv Sena mayor, let it be Shiv Sena standing committee.
So you are
chairman.
saying if the Shiv Sena walked in tomorrow and said, we agree to transparency, that is all you want?
We will be with Shiv Sena if Shiv Sena is talking about transparency in the governance of Mumbai Corporation. We have no issues of
so that's all they want.
Standing committee chairmanship.
You want Shiv Sena to make a verbal commitment of
transparency for 120 lakhs people of Mumbai.
Could we get from the BJP spokesperson a guarantee and spelling out what do they mean when they say BMC will be transparent compared to earlier? I'd be very obliged, I'd be very great, and I wish over national television such a commitment would be made. Instead of just using that word transparency, how will it convert into actual ground?
What is transparency?
And what will happen?
We can give you, we can give you a lot of time. Please go ahead.
2014, before 2014, the tender process of Mumbai Municipal Corporation was different. In 2014, when our Chief Minister has taken charge of UD department, we have instructed Municipal Corporation Administrator that they should publish the procurement plan of each and every tender before publishing the tender, because once the tender is out, it cannot be changed. So, to call for the people's opinion from 2014 onwards. Let me complete.
Mr. Wagh.
Let me complete. I have taken 2 minutes with your...
Please continue.
So this is the way that people's contribution and people's suggestion also can be put forth as far as the things are concerned. Another thing what we are talking about whenever we are taking a decision regarding the civic matters, then the people should be able to contribute on that particular ground. Nothing is happening.
No, what do you mean by contribute? So like an online vote?
Online voting, or maybe the discussions, the things should be put on website.
So things should be open. Suggestions and objections is what you're talking about. Suggestions and objections is what you're talking about. It is already available.
Do-gooding doesn't work, Mr. Avdhut Wagh.
No,
Let me tell you this. Mrs. Malkani,
Let's actually take it for the merit of point 1 and point 2. Point 1 being the tender process. Second one being whenever there are big decisions being made, suggestions and objections of citizens and other interested parties should be made available in the stakeholders.
Yes, I was going to just say I will talk on the second part because that's to do with the citizens directly.
That's right.
And suggestions, objections, the system is very much there and has always been there. It is how you execute it. And unless the execution itself is transparent, there is a question.
Whether cognizance is taken.
It is, I'm not going to speak on whether A party, B party does it right or not. I'm talking about the system. So when you talk about suggestions and objections, everything must come in. It is true. But there also, when you're giving to the citizens, not everyone is an expert on every technical aspect. So when you go in for proposals, there has to be certain things which has to be considered, etc. So the processes must be such that that enables a transparent way of execution. If that, the system is already there, but it is in the execution process where the questions come in. Because you give time, it's true, thousands of proposals come in. But when you put the proposal together in the first place, if there is a fault line there, then any amount of suggestion and objections will not help it. Right. So therefore, these and not everything, citizens are not always equipped with giving their individual opinions.
No. Yeah,
that's
but let's also be honest, Shailesh Gandhi, and I want to deal with these 2 points first before we move further, and I'll give Avdhut Wagh, opportunities to talk more. Shailesh Gandhi, suggestions, objections, in fact, worked very well every time the BMC released its development plan, and some 500 people pointed out errors in it. So the suggestion, objection has been available to citizens already. The tender process.
Can I submit what could actually be transparency? The tender process by itself doesn't do anything.
No, but then you're giving them the answers before the exam.
Just a minute.
Something I will just add an email.
Please let me finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making the tender process transparent, I don't think in the last 1 year or 1.5 years we've seen very honest or very good.
It happened, Mr. Shailesh Gandhi. I challenge you right now. I challenge you. The general condition of contracts have been changed. That is number 1. So Central Vigilance Committee's guidelines are being followed since 2014. Let me tell you, Central Vigilance Committee, nobody used to follow that. Our Chief Minister has started implementing
governance.
Mr. Wagh, my point is, will the BJP say that all works contracts, when they are given, will actually put up on the website the day they are given? Will you agree to set up citizen audit committees to audit all of these?
Mr. Shailesh Gandhi,
let me finish.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
You may agree or disagree with me, Mr. Wagh.
Let him finish.
Have citizens audit committees for road contracts, for pothole contracts, for gardening, for open spaces, for all of these. Have citizens audit committees. Put up everything on the website in a manner that people can figure out what is happening.
It is, yes.
If these are commitments you have, and my submission is, every 3 months, let's conduct a corruption perception index in the city of Mumbai and see whether the corruption perception index is showing a favorable or a disfavorable position. These are some concrete things, and there can be half a dozen other things like this. Mr. Wagh, I would be very, very glad, and with folded hands I would say, will you please give this commitment on behalf of BJP, sir?
Right now, can you give me 2 minutes without interruption? Since 2014, let me tell you, the changes happened in tendering process. Number one, the procurement plan has come. Before putting up the tender, the whole tender should come as a procurement plan with 15 days notice, available on MCGM portal, www.mcgm.gov.in.
Finish. Go ahead.
After that, once the tender is open, on the same day, with L1, L2, L3, who has got what is the price of the tender, who is number 2, who is number 3, everything comes as a commercial display. You go and see the site, even the 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh worth tenders are also being published. Number 3, previously the tender conditions were managed by the engineers. Now the Central Vigilance Committee guidelines have been implemented. The general condition of contract have been modified by the AMC projects, Mr. Sanjay Mukherjee, and it is now implemented, which has now reduced it considerably. Let me tell you, you go through the website and you will find now 46%, 47%, sometimes even 50% lower rates are being filled, and the tender is getting, that is the saving. Now, as far as, now the last one, I have not finished 2 minutes. The last 30,
your 2 minutes are up, sir.
Only 30 seconds. Only 30 seconds. Now the biggest problem in BMC is that the tender is being prepared by BMC officers, implemented by BMC officers, and even inspection is being done by inspection.
So will the BMC open itself up?
We are talking about third-party audit. We are talking about third-party independent inspection agency to check the quality of the work done by BMC.
All right, I have just one question, and I want to go to Sudhir here. Sudhir, and the BJP has been pointing out regularly. Yes, 2014. 1 second. That the changes came in 2014 onwards, because that is when Mr. Devendra Fadnavis took over as Chief Minister.
Sure.
Now, if the changes have been brought in successfully because he's Chief Minister / Urban Development Minister, then where is the evidence that the Shiv Sena has been opaque and anti-transparency? Because from 2014 to 2017, they have functioned so far, and they are citing instances of success. So I don't understand what the problem is right now. Sudhir.
See, the commissioner is
what
there.
happened? Devil lies in details.
Can I come in, please?
The BMC commissioner.
That is the detail that I was referring to.
Yeah,
Mr. Wagh.
the BMC commissioner has been appointed by the government. And that whatever the tendering process Mr. Wagh has been talking, it has been directed by the Urban Development Department, which has been controlled by the directly Chief Minister Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. So who has the control? Mr. Chief Minister has the control over the tendering process only.
Right.
So rather than blaming the Shiv Sena or the political party, we should blame the Fadnavis and the administration. These are the people who do the
These are all
entire thing.
executive functions. What are we talking about?
Second important
I should be allowed to come in.
So I will let Sudhir make his point, and then I'll
Second important thing, whenever, as you rightly pointed out, when the development plan was prepared for the city, 2013, that time, whenever the big plan or something happened, suggestion and objection always been invited. People has been invited. But it depends upon the excitement and depend upon the response of the people, how they involve in the entire this process. So the important
Sudhir, I'll ask you a very simple question. Do you believe this whole business of transparency now, today, post-election, let's leave the campaign aside, because the campaign is over. I want to get to work. Do you believe now this whole business of transparency or not transparency is just hogwash, just to negotiate things behind the curtain before
it's just farce. If you see the transparency, how the transparency is the Maharashtra government? How is it transparent? The Maharashtra government, the tendering process and everything, what the chicky scam has happened? Everybody knows chicky scam, everybody knows.
No, I don't know what the chicky scam is.
Someone will tell you.
Dal scam.
What is dal scam? You will go and talk about rice scam, wheat scam, flour scam. No, please.
It was not a part of the transparency.
Go on, explain to Mr. Wagh, Sudhir Suryavanshi, explain to Mr. Wagh what is the chicky scam. Apparently he has not read about it. Go ahead.
it is very good. It is very fortunate and unfortunate also if he has not read it. In Chikki scam, their minister Pankaja Munde has given the contract. To whom they have given the contract? The NGOs who has know their own electricity, who has know their own machineries, who has know their own setup.
But somehow
Still their contract was given. How was the size of the contract? Not 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, crores. If I am not able to even construct 1 lakh,
and the chickies were meant to feed
Do you
children.
believe that the ministers are issuing contracts? I challenge Mr. Suryavanshi.
Who is controlling?
Minister, 1 minute. Ministers are not issuing contracts. It is the administrative officers who are issuing contracts. What are you talking about? Show me any paper where the order is signed by a minister. What are you talking about? Just blaming somebody? No, minister is not signing.
Actually, you know what? You
are wrong.
I have this question for you.
Minister,
You don't know how the government works.
Minister,
My dear fellow,
Minister,
I'm
maybe
terribly sorry if this is the way the BJP functions.
Maybe that is the time where your father was a minister, but not now. Ministers are not signing contracts. Maybe at that time
Mr.
when
Wagh, you don't know what you're talking
minister.
about. The issue is there is no two ways that the minister don't sign contract.
So he agrees that maybe at that time they were signing, right?
Let me say, what happened in Chikki scam is that all the NGOs associated with the minister were given contracts at the behest of the minister. The minister has all the tendering guidelines, and therefore the NGOs or the person concerned are briefed. Now let us not
Madam, the chairman of the NGO was from Congress. She was from Sindhudurga. She was close to Narayan Rane. And still you are blaming. You mean to say that it was not the first time she got the contract. She got the contract.
We're not achieving anything by yelling at each
I know her very well. She is from my district. I know her very well. She was in NCP previously. Then she went to Narayan Rane.
One second, sir. Unfortunately, I lose about 15 minutes a day. One second. I lose about 15 minutes a day to political squabbling on these shows.
I just want to make one point about Mumbai.
But about Mumbai. Let's stick with the BMC.
I will just say this.
Stick with Mumbai.
Clyde,
I'll come to
all
you.
the best, Mr. Wagh. As far as Mumbai is concerned, as the way things are poised, the chief minister, the mayor will be of the Shiv Sena. The municipal commissioner.
You seem to have a political leaning there, Susieben.
I think, because they have the numbers. They will have the first right. Constitutionally and otherwise.
No, there is no such right available.
Are you going to abstain?
You superseded that right.
There is no right.
There is no right. All the best, Mr. Wagh. Mr. Wagh, they have the number.
There is no constitutional right as such.
Who said
It's simple, man.
Did I use the word
Absolutely wrong.
Please stop yelling at each other. One second. Let her finish.
I am not a lawyer, but I know constitution. And I know BMC better than you.
All the best to you. Let me complete.
No, Susieben Shah, is the Congress going to abstain from voting?
Let me complete my statement. As we look at things, Shiv Sena would form their mayor.
How?
The municipal commissioner, that you must ask Shiv Sena, not
No, it's actually you are the one who should answer that question. You have 31 votes,
silently or otherwise towards it. How I cannot, certainly the strategy of the party, the political leanings can't be disclosed in the studio.
I really wish you would.
There is. Mr. Wagh, allow me to complete.
उनको बोलने दीजिए, Mr. Wagh. उनको बोलने दीजिए. उनको बोलने दीजिए.
Please, let us have the decency. We heard your sermon and holier than thou attitude. Listen.
Okay.
It'll go a long way. So therefore, what was I saying? That assuming that Shiv Sena has the mayor, the municipal commissioner will be appointed by the chief minister, the BJP in this current case. So I just hope, for the sake of Mumbai, that they don't go the way Delhi goes by just issuing executive orders, superseding the house, superseding the corporators, superseding the committee. It will spell doom for this. As far as the long, prolonged,
but I just
the
want to point out,
of objections, tendering process, it is always the case. The issue is how much the government takes cognizance of it. In the DP, everyone gave the suggestion or objections. Mr. Gandhi was in the technical committee, but was he given the teeth? Was he given the power to implement what he said?
Okay, that's a good question. We'll ask Shailesh Gandhi. All right, let me just bring in Clyde. He's been waiting for a while. Clyde, go ahead.
I just want to go back a little to what Mr. Avdhut Wagh kept saying. Everything happened after 2014. That's exactly I'm trying to say what he said. 2014. I can sum up two things. One is that before 2014, the municipal councillors from the BJP had no knowledge of municipal governance. And two, that they were so incapable of being part of the Bombay Municipal Corporation that the whole Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika was run by the administrators. So basically what Mr. Avdhut Wagh has done in trying to praise the Honorable Chief Minister is put down all his corporators who worked in the last 20 years. So I don't know what corruption are they talking about, I don't know what transparency they're talking about, because these poor corporators just seem symbolic then, they were just there because they knew nothing about it.
Clyde Crasto, will the NCP vote in favour of the Shiv Sena at the mayoral election, or will you abstain, or will you vote in favour of the BJP mayor candidate?
We are going to keep equal distance from both BJP and Shiv Sena. We are going to stay away equidistant from both of them.
But it's not a morning march in school, Clyde Crasto, that you'll keep one arm distance from the person before you. And I want to understand, what is the NCP strategy going into the mayoral elections? You have a certain number of seats which will matter. What are you planning on doing?
No, but but we don't, ideologies don't match with either of them. So there's no question of going with any of them. We are going to stay away from them. That's how it's going to be.
Okay, so just to explain to our audience what's going to happen, there will be a mayoral election. Given that the Shiv Sena has now, on last count, 88 and the BJP is at 83. Mr. Wagh, please feel free to correct me if I'm mistaken. They will each put forward one candidate. Every corporator who has been elected will have to vote, including the Congress that has a comfortable 31 seats at this point. Now, what's going to happen is there will be some parties who will decide, like Clyde has said quite conveniently, to be equidistant and vote for neither. Now, if they abstain, then of course the Shiv Sena, by that abstinence, will have the higher set of numbers. And while that seems like an eventuality at this point, the BJP continues to say that it has enough numbers and will have the mayoral candidate. Shailesh Gandhi quite usefully pointed out that what's actually happening behind the scenes is negotiations for plum positions within the BMC. Rohan is on the phone line from Bangalore. Rohan, I'm sorry we kept you waiting for this long. Go ahead, you're on the show.
Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I personally think that Shiv Sena and BJP should have an alliance.
Okay. Why?
Because from past there have been good alliance partners. Okay. And I think BJP and Shiv Sena should be will be good partners.
Okay, you think they'll be good partners
Congress,
because they've been partners for so long? Out of habit. I want to take this question to Shailesh Gandhi. What was said up till now, the fact that in the previous cases of transparency, in the previous cases of you heading the technical committee, which is a committee of experts who looks into how things are done and then gives their suggestions, were you given teeth? Were you given the ability to make any changes?
As I've often said, I have not had a more ineffective working than as I have as chairman. The only reason I keep hoping is maybe we'll get some teeth, maybe people will listen. The truth is, and that's why I was very carefully listening to Mr. Wagh. I made specific appeals for saying, will this be part of your transparency agenda? And Mr. Wagh beautifully ducked it and went on to tell us what they've done since 2014. He did not answer the specific. In fact, with folded hands, I requested Mr. Wagh to say, sir, will you please agree to this? And very diplomatically, he did not touch the topic at all, but he talked of what since 2014 they've been doing.
Summarizing.
This does not appear to be a call for transparency. This transparency story is shadow boxing, as I said earlier, and I wish it could not be. I'm again
because we have an opportunity here to actually be transparent.
The BJP to say, please take a position and say, yes, we'll have citizen audit committees. Yes, we'll put up every works contract as it goes on. Before it is issued, it will be on the website and we'll take citizens' inputs. Please say that, and I think we'll see a great difference in the way BMC functions.
Avdhut Wagh?
Basically, if it is constitutional, why not? And if...
Dodging the question again.
Let me complete, Mr. Gandhi. Let me complete. Now, in the system, there are people's representative. 227 people have been represented from 140 lakhs of Mumbaikars, and they are representing people. They are not coming from Moon and they are not coming from Venus. So they are among us only. That is point number one. Point number two, whatever is applicable to Mumbai should be applicable to Pune also and to Pimpri-Chinchwad also. So the local self-body government, in local self-body government, you have to take a principal decision and policy decision to implement this.
No.
It cannot be only applicable to Mumbai Municipal Corporation.
You're just evading. And I want to ask Indrani Malkani this question. And here's the question, Indrani. You work with citizen interaction with the BMC, and you work with actually getting things done.
Yes, that's
true. And I want to ask you this question. Since elections began and since campaigning began, obviously all of the corporators, the citizen representatives, as Avdhut Wagh called them, have not come to the BMC office because they've all been out campaigning and they've all been working at their respective campaigns. How has work moved in the BMC with only the bureaucrats in that office and no politicians?
Faye, actually the funny thing is that when there is, when there is code of conduct, the officers work very fast. And this is not restricted to BMC elections or to the state or the Lok Sabha elections. But it is a fact because they have time for meetings, they have time for this, that, the other. Right or wrong, I'm not getting into. This is the scenario.
So you're saying basically when there are no politicians in the building, the work actually begins to move faster?
Well, for whatever reason. Now, whether it's a perception or whether it is, this has been my experience. However, having said that, there is no issue with, there are three pillars in a democracy. So the elected representatives and the administration, that is the executive wing of the BMC, they have to work together. However, what is happening today is that there are many issues and all elected representatives are not always in the know of things. So therefore, there are clashes, etc.
Actually, Indrani, in response to this, and this is more something that worries me more than the executive.
Yes.
The fact that Avdhut Wagh said that all of the elected representatives are representatives of the people. We don't need to get a people's audit. These people are representatives of the people. Where does that leave the people?
Look, very true. When a person is elected from an electoral ward, that person, whether the person has been only 100 votes have been given out of 1,000. It doesn't matter. The fact is that person has been elected and is legitimately the elected representative of the entire constituency. There is absolutely no question, no doubt about it. Now that brings us to the question we all should vote. Now that's besides the point. Now that's over. So therefore, the question is that there is an elected representative. However, due to various reasons, not all elected representatives may be able to deliver what... I mean, there are so many checks and balances. It is a quagmire in the BMC. It is not as simple, and neither can you say it in one sentence. But suffice to say that both will have to work together. The administrators, those who are working the administrative side, they are technically aware of what works. So when the people representative is there, the happy marriage is when they're able to work together. Now, the problem happens is when the elected representative, due to ego, pushes for something which is technically not feasible, and the administrative side is forced to do it, and we have a situation. That too happens. However, in the MCGM Act, just a minute, it's not experts, I'm just saying in day-to-day life. That is what you have asked me, citizen engagement. Now, let us look to it, that it is not that there aren't pockets of citizen groups. There is a scheme of the MCGM. And when Mr. Wagh mentioned that what works for Pune, Mumbai, it is not true at all. That's not true at all, because each has got its own act. Now, the citizen engagement in Mumbai, there has to be more engagement in the sense of working in partnership, not with confrontation all the time.
Right. Okay, Shailesh Gandhi, very quickly, Shailesh Gandhi, that response that the people... One second, I'll come back to you. Shailesh Gandhi, that the BMC corporators are representatives of the people. What is the need to bring in another set of citizen auditors?
Concept of participatory democracy is very, very old. We have representatives, yes, but it does not mean that people don't participate. And in a democracy where people don't participate, what is happening in India happens. When citizens participate, and in fact, BMC should welcome it. And I was a little surprised and dismayed at being told that this, if it is constitutional. Obviously, citizens' right to monitor everything is always part of the constitution. That's the fundamental, that's the basis of a constitution, that's the basis of a democracy. I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to reiterate that.
Sudhir,
And what was suggested was works contracts being put up on the website immediately.
I don't think it's I think the problem is, like Sudhir pointed out, that a lot of this is still eyewash, and what we're doing then, Sudhir, is arguing eyewash? Of whether or not we're talking technical committee or how we should do tenders if the intention is not there.
And I would like to give one good news to Mr. Shailesh Gandhi. The state government has yesterday only appointed Mr. Swadhin Kshetra, he was a Chief Secretary, as a Commissioner for the Right to Services Act. Now, using this, Mr. Gandhi is expert in the entire technical thing. Using this, he can force Mr. Swadhin Kshetriya to increase the participation of the people in the services.
Correct.
So, where
No, are you talking about Aapne Sarkar?
No.
Not Aapne Sarkar.
Righteous Services Act.
Maharashtra is the first state which will have the Commissioner and Services Act. It will be the first state across the India. So using that Right to Services Act, Mr. Gandhi can appeal and do whatever he wants to do in the frame of that Constitution and the Act. And using that, we can have if the services are not be given to people, are not given to people on the time, that time we can make complaint and make appeal,
So there's an ability
that
to
participation of the people will increase at that time, and more people will be involved, and more services will be delivered on time to the people.
Fortunately, in a constitutional manner. Avdhut Wagh, go ahead.
Just a minute.
Okay, come you please go ahead.
Susieben Shah, go ahead.
This is the Act is more of a redressal forum. If you are aggrieved, you go to the Service Act and ask in a time-bound manner that I should be provided services. But as I understand, Mr. Shailesh Gandhi, what he is looking is a committee of experts. Now, these corporators, while they're in a particular ward, there's so many problems: water, light, electricity, open spaces. The corporator might not know everything, and therefore there is a need of an expert committee. That is what Mr. Gandhi, if I understand correctly, is asking for, and I think it is absolutely necessary, and it is an executive decision. The policy maker should make such committees mandatory with some power, with some teeth. I think
Madam, there are systems in place. Only thing is that I may say that the systems are not that effective. For example, Mohalla committees are there where people are gathering together, discussing.
No, go ahead.
Can I?
So it's already passed.
So Mohalla committees are there. People are coming together. They are discussing their problems. That is number one. Number two, there is a Prabhag ward for N ward, S ward, T ward, where non-represented people are also getting elected on Prabhag committee, and they also participate in day-to-day matters. No. Number three, there are 5 corporators being appointed on Bombay Municipal Corporation to participate in the houses. Now, what Mr. Shailesh Gandhi is saying, that the audit and the inspection authority to common people to see the works contract.
Not common people.
Yeah,
people who are not corporators. People who are independent of policy.
How to select them?
Shailesh Gandhi,
how to select them? 1 minute. Let me complete. Now, instead of that, what I'm saying, I said that the tender specifications are finalized by BMC officers, executed by BMC officers, the bills are raised by municipal officers, being paid by municipal officers, and even inspection is being done by inspection of the municipal officer. There is a vigilance department, which is one of the most corrupt departments.
If you talk about this entire process, it seems like the corporator has absolutely no role to play at all, Mr. Wagh.
Okay, I will not. That's what it is. I will not say anything. I'm sorry.
No, you must. We spent a lot of time and money and energy going through an election process, electing corporators that you are now telling us have absolutely no role to play in the BMC.
I'm giving my time to Suryavanshi.
No, please answer the question.
And I think we've always been transparent. If we hear Mr. Wagh clearly, it's always been transparent. So what was the fight about? I don't know.
See, but basically,
2014 to be
we all should understand, madam, we all should understand that the local self-body government is not a Vidhi Mandal. It is not a Kaide Mandal. It is not a lawmaker. We are not making law.
It can be bylaws.
It can. We have to adapt the laws which is passed by the parliament or by the assembly. Now here the corporators have got a limited power.
What power do the corporators have?
That they can go and discuss, they can represent the people and go and discuss with the municipal commissioner, additional municipal commissioner, the officers. If they are getting a shortage of water, they have to go and and talk to the assistant engineer that please.
Shailesh Gandhi is not.
What additional transparency are we being promised is my simple question, sir.
Yes. What additional transparency? If you're saying, also more importantly, if you're saying that
in place.
the corporators have very little power other than to simply ask questions.
I suggest Mr. Gandhi to come out with a paper that what all the transparency he is looking for.
I
promise you that I will take up that particular paper and I will talk to the Chief Minister on behalf of you. This is my promise. But I really don't know what is really the transparency.
I'll tell you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
I
very
will
much.
definitely do that.
That's a very good point. I also want to point out to you.
If possible, I will take Mr. Shailesh Gandhi along with me.
Please do.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll very gladly accompany the both of you with a television camera. The Chief Minister also came up with the idea of sabhas in every area of every ward. Will that be implemented? That's also transparency. Yeah. If you say that the BJP is committed to transparency, will we have an area sabha or a ward sabha?
There is a ward sabha. Prabhat Samiti is a ward, it is a ward sabha. However, the question did come up and Mr. Wagh did mention it. In function, it is there. But who is the NGO who's being nominated? That is a big question.
That's true.
You see, if you go in and if you do an audit of the people who are the non-elected people who have been put in there, you might just open a Pandora's box. And we leave it at that. And frankly speaking, when we talk about scams, I don't think that any party is exempt from it.
Clyde has been waiting for a while. Clyde, go ahead. Yeah. Clyde.
There's such a long spiel that Mr. Avdhut Wagh gave. The point is he's trying to divert attention from that the corporators are incapable of doing work. What he's trying to say is that the corporators had no power and they just can
I've never said that.
Complaints to the municipal commission. It's not like that. They have
Clyde, I have never said that.
They are represent. 1 minute, Mr. Wagh, when you were talking, I didn't.
But I have never said that. Don't put words in my mouth, please.
They are representatives of the people. No, you are denting. You are trying to say that your corporators were incapable of doing anything, and now you are denting the moral of all your new corporators that they have no role to play.
I have never said that.
That's not how it works.
I have never said that.
No, you go back to what you've been saying.
You
go back to what you said. It's like they can go to the commissioner and talk to him. No, they have a lot of powers. They are a conduit between the common man and the municipal commissioner. Their voices have to be raised. They have enough powers to do work. It's just that your corporators did not do it, and they were quiet because maybe they were transparent in the BMC. That's what it was.
I will tell you. I personally has covered the corporation for a long time. So whenever we roam in the corridor of the corporation always complain, this officer is not working, this officer is not, passing my file, not approving my file, not giving good remark or favorable remark. Why favorable remark? Why there are different things. I mean, working for their own constituency, own ward, that is enough, that is okay, that is fine. But to get some favor, that is most different thing. The corporator always complains for the favor, so which is not given by the officer.
I want to come back to what Shailesh Gandhi said, that unfortunately there is a lot of... One second.
Yeah.
That there is a lot of negotiation happening right now for plum positions. And let's talk about those plum positions. The coastal road, which will be run by the BMC, is an extremely expensive project.
Yeah.
The BMC also technically controls the most expensive real estate market in the country, where basically the BMC hands out permissions to developers who are building multi-crore rupee projects, based on how much parking, how high, how low those buildings go. And all of that, let's be honest, on this channel we know and we have evidence, all of that involves bribes.
Yeah. If some A developer or B developer is submitting his proposal, he always say he has to pay at least 10 or 20% of the total project cost on the bribe. This entire money has to pay as a kickbacks. So, because of that only, our flat price on per square foot increases by 20%. If you remove that 20%, your flat prices, apartment prices will automatically come down. Corruption is a major component in the BMC. That is most important. Nobody has, we brought that computerized system to submit a plan and all these things, but nothing has been.
After 2014,
nothing has been done. So it has been there, but it is there. But the engineer
has the corruption come down in the last 2 years?
It has not come down.
It is not come down.
It has not come down. It has in fact increased. In fact, people has taking money in the BMC for the right thing, for legitimate things, and that is completely wrong. Therefore, the person who is engineer or deputy engineer or chief engineer who just sits on the file or sits on the, things. So sitting, how much time he will sit, that much time, that much amount of money he demands. If it sits for 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 days, or 1 week, that entire thing has been calculated in the ratios.
What you're saying is that earlier when a builder was doing something illegal, he would have to bribe somebody to move that plan.
Correct.
Now, bribes are being asked for to just simply do their jobs.
Absolutely.
And simply clear something that is fully legal and is not hurting anybody.
Yeah, that is called in BMC as a service money. That is called in the corporation as a service money. And that entire thing has been affecting. Therefore, in Mumbai, the real estate prices are high. That is one of the major reason.
Avdhut Wagh,
if you see,
is the BJP's transparency going to clean up this problem? How will you clean up this problem?
The system is already in place. For example, last time I was also there in the same show with some of the builders and developers, where one builder has clearly said that I have not paid a single buy because whatever
that builder was very likely afraid of the consequences of saying that he has paid. Let me be very honest with you.
And he said that I have not paid a single buy because whatever I am doing right. Now, there is a system in place where you can go online, you can submit all your plans online, and if you are maintaining all the rules and regulations, why you have to pay? That is point number one. Point number two, I really do not have experience since I am not a builder. Mr. Suryavanshi will be in a better position to talk about that, but I am not a builder, so I am not aware.
I'm aware. Let me point out that we track this real estate sector very, very closely on this channel, and we have evidence, and this is not hearsay to tell you, that even young people out of management college who came out and started a company saying we will build affordable homes of 35 lakh rupees and sell it to people who want to buy, they were told that unless you give us 20 lakh rupees, your file will not move. This was their first project. They'd done nothing wrong. So the corruption in the system is so deep-rooted, and I would love for anybody to come and assure us a clean-up of that system. That would really be something that will be, that there is no...
real transparency.
All right, we have to, yeah, that will be truly transparency, and that will be transparency.
There is a solution.
Right. There are solutions. We'll have to have those conversations because I've run out of time on this particular debate, but we're going to keep a very close eye on what's happening, not because of the politics. I've told you, we don't care about the politics here on this channel. We care about the work, and we're going to make sure that the work gets done. One way or the other, we're going to make sure that we get transparency, and we're going to make sure that all of those manifestos that were given to us are actually delivered upon. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.